Spring start in 6 weeks, but because we have this greenhouse, spring actually start for us now because we could start seed and grow many plants in this greenhouse because this greenhouse is much more hotter than outside. Welcome back to Green Tea Garden. We're about to kickstart our spring garden. It's not heated greenhouse, it's just enclosed, and because we have the sunlight, the sun produces so much heat and it traps all the warmness in here. 41 degrees outside right now, we're about 65 degrees in here. For this video, we're gonna go through some simple checklists and a reminder what you need to do and must do, actually, you have to do before garden season. And especially if you're growing in a short garden season, you want to make sure you follow these steps. You don't want to make no mistake or else you will be behind of the garden season. And spring weather does not last long. Summer will be coming fast and then you will miss most of your spring plant. So the first thing I will tell everybody, welcome to Green Tea Garden. If you're new, I'm in Long Island, New York, USA, and we're about to enter spring garden. Thank you to everyone who's been following me for a long time. I do appreciate it. We have a lot of growing to do this year. A lot more than last year, actually. Now, the first thing you have to do is figure out when spring is coming to your area. And if you're going to start indoor, you have to make sure you have a grow lights, and you have to make sure you start at least about a month. 3 weeks to a month, you start indoor. Now, if you're going to start in a greenhouse like this, you could start like how I'm starting right now, 6 weeks before. Or if you do like most people do, they just buy those seedlings plants and sow directly outdoor. So you have to check like your local Home Depot and Lowe's or garden center when they put out their spring plant, and make sure when you buy plants, it's not under a greenhouse. You want to buy plants that's in the open, because if you're going to take a plant from the store and you're going to put it right outside, you want to make sure you get used to the wind, you want to make sure you get used to the sun and the outdoor weather, so your plant is not going to have like a shock or destroy. The other thing, you want to make sure you're buying the right plants and you're growing the right plants for the season. You do not want to mistake and jump spring weather, because springtime, the nights get cooler and the morning get cooler, and if you have summer plants, they're not going to survive. Weather's going to be too cold. So you want to get plants like, I'm going to give you a quick example. Let's go. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprout, scallions, onions, potatoes. You could do lettuce, spinach, pak choy. Did I say kale before? I probably said kale. Swiss chard. Check in the description box. I'm gonna write the list and snap a picture of all the plants that you could grow in springtime. Coming up in the next video, I will show you how I'm seeding exactly and how I'm doing every single thing and how I start my garden too. But this is a quick checklist. The other thing you want to do, you want to make sure you don't overseed. I think that's a lot of people make mistake, including myself. We seed so much plants and we don't have space. And then you have to look for neighbors and family and friends and call them up and say, hey, are you doing gardening? I have a lot of extra seedlings if you want. I did that before. That's why you see I'm laughing. And I do it every year, so just make sure you don't go too crazy. But I always said you rather seed more than less. If you want 4 tomato plant, I would say plant at least 7 in case 2 of the seed didn't germinate or something happened to one. You have exactly how much you need. You could always force it in and plant it in a container, which I do. The other thing you're going to make sure for beginners, you have name tags. You have to name all your plants. Let me show you 1 second. These are the name tags. They're plastic name tags. You could buy whichever one you want. Always get name tags and label your plants, your seed exactly. You got to label everything. You want to know which plant, because if you want to know if you're planting a broccoli plant versus a spinach plant, you got to know the container size, space size, how much the space, and where to put them. So always remember to label your plant. And the other thing you want to do is use a seed starting soil. If you're a beginner, like a potted mix, you want to get a nice, well potted mix organic soil. Those are the best seeding trays. I'm going to show you right here. I go with Vigo garden seeding trays that are amazing. Another thing, you want to make sure you don't throw away any old soil. If you have old soil, do not throw them away. Just empty them in a big container or get a tarp and dump all your old soil. Go through them, try to get out any like debris, or make sure you're not having like any kind of like cocoons and stuff in there. And you want to loosen up the soil, basically loosen up, and then buy a couple bag of organic soil or whatever soil you're getting your soil from, and get some compost. If you don't have compost, get organic all-purpose fertilizer, and you want to mix all of them together. Mix it up, bring back that soil to life. Sprinkle some garden lime on it too. It's a really good idea. And for coming up for springtime, what I like to do is to buy a source of nitrogen. You could buy like a organic nitrogen that increase the nitrogen for the plants, because most leafy greens, they need an extra, to my opinion, a little extra boost of nitrogen, strengthen up the plants. What I normally do is to get like an organic coffee if you're a coffee drinker, and get the used coffee ground and you sprinkle it around. This increase the nitrogen in the soil, and it also, like slugs and stuff, they hate the smell and taste of coffee ground. So certain bugs and pests, we could get rid of them while our plants are getting the benefit from it. So that's a good thing. Not a good thing you could look at. The other thing you want to do is to make sure you're planning this whole garden thing out. You have to take a day and plan it out. You got to think about how much space you have, how much containers you need, how much containers you have, how much soil you need, how much fertilizer, how much everything, single thing. It's not hard, but it's a good idea to to think about how much how much you're going to do in this certain area and time. And then you don't want to plant too much spring crops if you're going to be getting into summer crops, because then you have to make sure you're seeding before summer weather kicks into. And the good thing about summer garden, you could start seeding outdoor. If you don't have a greenhouse and you don't want to start seeding inside, you could actually start seed outdoors. So that's a good thing. Remember that summer and fall, I do not seed indoor or in the greenhouse. I seed outside. So that's easy and beautiful thing. The other thing I'm going to say is that you want to make sure you're going to be fighting off some spring bugs. So we're going to talk about aphids. We got slugs, snails. Sometimes those gypsy moths will come around too, so you gotta watch out with that. So what you could do is to cover your plants if you have those netting covers, because these plants don't need to be pollinated. They will just grow and nothing will get in, so that's a real plus, I think. Another thing you could do is to get like organic neem oil, soap and water. Keep your garden clean, pull out all the weeds. I think if you pull out all the weeds and stuff, you're not getting any kind of bugs hidden underneath there and stuff. Avoid any water hanging around in your garden and stuff. Wow, it's windy. Oh man, I feel like my greenhouse is moving. So don't forget to check your area where you live, see when the spring's starting. Make your list, get all your seed together and start seeding. Do not wait too long. Seed does take a while to germinate, and it do take a while to grow before you can transplant. So you want to make sure you speed everything up. You want to make sure you timing. Timing when it comes down to garden season here that we live, timing is everything, because if you're off time and you're 1 or 2 weeks behind, depends on the weather's changing rapidly, it could affect your garden season. Thank you so much for watching Green Tea Garden. We have a lot more videos coming around, and we're going to be growing non-stop. We're all here to learn and grow a better garden together. I am not better than any one of you guys. All of you I know are really good gardeners. And any question, everybody could help out and help each other. Why not? It's free, and we're all growing and doing the same thing, right? We're all trying to eat better. We're trying to save money, and we're trying to live a healthier life and have a better hobby and something to do, actually, besides stress in life, all right? And I have to tell you one more thing. One more thing. If you are growing your garden for years and you're getting good harvest, good production, do not change your garden. Do not change anything that you're doing. Do what you have to do and keep doing it, because you're getting nice harvest. If you're not getting harvest, do follow some of my tips and we're gonna grow better. But the main thing here in Long Island, New York, we have a short garden season, so I do test stuff out. I do pruning. I do decide which container works the best, because I use containers too. I do decide which plant grows the best in the time. I decide, like, I test stuff out, like, based on temperature, based on size, based on every single thing. And eventually every single year I'm learning something new, and every year I try to mess around, because that's how you learn. Sometimes people will tell you to do this and do that, and until you try, then you figure out exactly what works. So I'm gonna be testing out some stuff, and whatever mistake I make, I will show you whatever mistake this year is not going or not. So this way you guys learn. And we're gonna be growing a lot of plants, a lot of vegetables, also some flowers I'm gonna be growing. And then gonna get back in my sunflowers. Gonna be doing some giant sunflowers coming up. We're gonna probably hopefully hit like a 12 feet or something, or 15 feet. Keep your finger crossed. So thank you so much for watching Green Tea Garden. Don't forget to like and subscribe. More videos coming up. We have spring garden, summer garden, fall and winter garden all year long. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to start, because I love spring and summer going on. I love gardening time. It's something I live for, actually. I love it. I just love it. I think my kids love it. My daughter's a big fan of it too. So remember, gardening is healthy. You're eating healthy. You're working out. You're active, and you're in a happy place. And then when you harvest so much stuff, you're so excited because you grow that food.